Every day is filled with challenges, and for every challenge, we have to identify what it is and solve them. And that is what engineers do. Engineers solve problems. On this note, I want to welcome you to this week's edition of Engineering and You. It's a program that is brought to you courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer Yemisi Shillong, FNSC. And the program's objective is to ensure that young Nigerians take to engineering. And then because so goes the engineer, so goes the society. And then on this week's edition, it's going to be very, very interesting. I can assure you of that, because there's a prize for you to win if you can answer our question like we give you every week. And on this week's edition, the question for today is, what is the movement of cells against concentration gradient called? What is the movement of cell against concentration gradient called? If you know the answer, pick up your phone and call us, or go to our Facebook page as Ogun TV, drop your answers, and you sure will get your gift if you are correct, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer Yemisi Shillong. And like you know, it's a very interactive one. My guest is already in the house, and I will take this very short break. When we return, I will let you know who my guest is and the topic she'll be discussing with us today. Welcome back. My guest for today is Engineer Dr. Funmilayo Alayaki. And talking about higher education, she started her primary education at W.J. David Memorial Baptist School in Lagos, secondary education at Wahab Folawiyo High School, Ikoyi, Lagos, where she bagged the best female graduating student in 1989, diploma in civil engineering, followed at Federal Polytechnic Ilaro in 1992. Then for BSc, she went to University of Lagos to bag a BSc in civil engineering in 1998 and master's degree in highway and traffic engineering in 2002. She later went out of the shores of Nigeria to the University of Cambridge, where she obtained her PhD and in engineering. And she's a member of the Council of the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, a corporate member of Nigeria Set of Engineers, and member of Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN. And today she'll be talking to us about what is captioned use of waste in construction, a research concern for civil engineers. So I won't stand in our way. I will just allow her to take it up from there and let us enjoy what she has to tell us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me, the presenter. I'm happy to be here. As rightly said, the topic for presentation is use of waste as construction materials, a research concern for a civil engineer. All of us, we know that waste is a menace, and everybody generates waste. We generate waste, but we hardly care on how we dispose of our waste or how we manage the waste. Especially in this country, when you go all over the place, you see waste. Landfills are being filled up to overflowing. An example is the landfill along Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, along that Ojota landfill. So many problems that we face with waste, especially in Nigeria. However, all over the world, people are now agitating for sustainable construction, and in the advanced countries, they are well advanced in terms of research in how to incorporate waste into construction. But for us in developing country, we are just scratching the surface. We are yet to get there. So it's a major concern, and it should be of interest to everybody, especially the upcoming young ones, that want to come into engineering, they should see this is a focus, is a research focus. So it has been the research focus for so many years. Why? Everybody is looking for green environment. We are all talking about pollution, flooding, and so on. Apart from that, apart from looking for green environment, we are also hopeful that the use of waste in construction will, at the end of the day, result in reduction of construction materials and also reduction in production cost. So let's look at waste. In our household, we generate vegetable waste, or what we call biodegradable waste, meat, bones, and non-biodegradable, the papers, plastic, glass, can, and so on. Industrial waste. In the industry, they generate waste. Factories, they generate waste. And also, when we construct, at one point in time, there will be the need to demolish. So all those waste from demolished construction, roads are being reconstructed. Instead of making use of the waste, they will say it's cut away. Gone are the days that people are cutting away. Now we make use of those waste in new construction. So concrete, your old artifacts, your tiles, your glass, jute bags, and so on. There are waste that can be generated from demolition sites. We also have agricultural waste. Your rice husks, cassava peel, palm kernel shell, seashell, and so on. Even animal feces, that is the poos of animals. All these are waste. But let me tell you, research is ongoing to make use of many of these waste back into construction. So what do we normally do when we generate waste? The first thing anybody will look at is, let's burn up, incineration. So you burn up, you pollute the air, both with gases and fumes, or okay, let's go and stockpile in landfills. Let's dump them there, and they remain there for years. And many of these wastes are non-biodegradable. So they will be there constituting nuisance and messing up the environment. Also, we will say, okay, let's compact them into the soil, or beautifully people are now using waste to generate biogases, or you compost so that you can use back on your farms, and so on. But in engineering, we have the desire, especially in civil engineering, the desire to minimize waste disposal and maximize waste application or reuse. Now, let's look at the current trends in waste application. You will see those colorful blocks there. They're actually made from waste from dump sites. Carry them from the dump site, do some cleaning, then compress them. We don't have this technology yet in the country, but it's interesting to know that in some other African countries, Ghana, they already have the technology to compress waste, and we are going to see that in a moment, to make building blocks. Also, you can also make your paving tiles from plastic and sands. We have that. And interestingly, I think in the north, there was one professor that was compacting soil into our PET bottles to construct building. That is that on the left. And in Ghana, this beautiful house you are looking at is made from waste, purely 100% waste, and they use it to construct building. However, all hope is not lost for Nigeria. Recently, very recently, this year, I was able to see this picture sent by one of my postgraduate students about the work done by NIBRI, that is the Nigeria Building and Road Research Institute, and they are able to construct a story building using minimum reinforcement, just the links, They use bamboo for the reinforcement of the deck, the columns, the beam. That is the picture. If you can have that on the left, and that's a completed structure. Beautiful looking building there, and that's what we can do with research. Then there is a road, or there are roads now being constructed using plastic waste. They will be so processed that you can use them as the wearing cost for the road. And this one is from a research in the North Carolina that started in the University of North Carolina in the US, where they constructed a paved road purely from the poops of pigs. Purely from the poops of pigs. And that is where technology is taking us to. And interestingly, in civil engineering, we are even going beyond all this and looking at how you can use microorganisms in concrete. Microorganisms to stabilize soils. So the world is making innovative discoveries and innovative technologies. So how does it concern civil engineers? Research concern. Every one of us will have to show concern on how we manage our waste. And the first step is by sorting our waste from the source, looking at waste that can be recycled and waste that can biodegrade, and you can use them as organic waste on farms. Then we have to intensify research on the adaptation of processed waste for local use, especially in Nigeria. And I was so happy when I saw the building that NIBRI constructed. And the first question that came to my mind is that how many Nigerians we have confidence to use bamboo stems as the reinforcement in their houses, and they are ready to go with that technology. That's one problem we also have. We are so easy to adopt foreign technology, but if anybody comes and says, okay, this is for local content, you can use this in Nigeria, people say, oh, you want the house to collapse on me? So we have that problem. But with research, and if we make the research public, maybe people will have confidence in what we are doing in terms of innovative technologies. Then there are still many novel use of waste in construction yet to be discovered, and this should be of interest to all the young ones that are coming. See, as I said earlier, we are just scratching the surface. There are still many discoveries to be made, and the young ones can tap into this by studying civil engineering. Thank you very much.
Okay. So you can tap into the possibilities in civil engineering, just tap into it by studying civil engineering. I would like to take you before I start allowing calls to come in. It's a global concern now that there is the carbon in the air
emission
is causing climate change.
Yes.
And we are now feeling the heat that we are now seeing it all around us. If you go out there now, especially in Abeokuta, for those of you that are not living in Abeokuta, you see that the heat is something else, not something intensity of the heat. Yeah. And how do we decarbonize, let me use that word, a construction site? Because I understand and I know that most of the construction sites are carbon oriented, let me use that word, the cements, the blocks, and all.
The word out of my mouth.
Do we have any technology in mind to do that?
As I said, research is ongoing, and people are really intensifying their efforts in order to reduce the carbon content in the air. And when you use your cement, your lime, the block, the hollow concrete block that all of us will easily jump at to construct our building, we are loading the environment with all these carbon content. And that's why people are doing research in order to reduce the amount of cement that we are using. And it's of interest to know, I know somebody in this country that has gone far in applying research in order to reduce the amount of cement, and that is the person of Dr. Olonode at the University of Lagos. In fact, early this year there was this publication whereby we saw that they actually constructed a prototype, a building whereby they use very minimum amount of cement, but they use cassava pin ash as part replacement of cement. And they did the research, and they now constructed a building on the campus of the University of Lagos to show people that you don't have to use 100% cement to construct your building. You can actually reduce the amount of cement to the very minimum by making use of some other processed material such as the cassava pin ash, and it's there for everybody to see. I just hope that people will take it up and we start to...
You lead me to another question, because it has been said that over time that there is a gap between the town and gown. Now, with that kind of breakthrough in the university system, what is stopping us from adopting it or from mass producing it, if that's the case may be? Because I understand that will lead me to another question, because the cost of building, especially in a building structure, is high due to the cost of the inputs. Cement, for example, may be a major ingredient in building. It's high. But having that cassava wood ash, I'm sure should reduce cost of production.
Of course, to the very, very minimum. Now, one thing is for us to do research. Another one is for you to do performance evaluation. That is, what you have worked on, what you have researched on, you now put it to test by doing a prototype, what we call the pilot scale. So you put it to test and let people see, then let it stand the test of time, which I believe is what my Dr. Olonode is doing on the campus of the University of Lagos by constructing the building and leave it to the test of time. Let people see. Let it have weather effects, both rain and temperature. Just leave it for some time. Now, after some time, then you can now see. There is no quick way for you to have innovative research that will stand the test of time if you don't do performance evaluation. So you must be able to put it to test, let people use it over time. Then at the end of the day, it will build up confidence in the researcher and also confidence in the people, that the end users, those that are going to make use of your product. So I believe that's what people are doing. And that's what NIBRI has done also, by constructing a prototype building of, this is what bamboo stem can do. Then people will show interest at the end of the day.
Hello, that Nigerians. Okay, we have a caller. Shegun from Port Harcourt. Hello, good evening, Shegun.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, you can go ahead, ask my guest a question if you want to.
No, I want to answer the question.
Alright, go ahead.
Active transport.
Pardon me?
Hello.
Please, what's the answer again?
Active transport.
Alright, Shegun, I'll let you know if you are correct. Thank you so much for your call, all the way from Port Harcourt. Alright, so I was about asking you, we are used to a way of building, and changing our concepts, our perspective, is going to be a whole lot of work. For example, you just showed us a building that was done with bamboo stem. If you, as a contractor or as a construction engineer, if you go to a structural engineer, go to someone and say, I would want to do this building for you, I'm going to use a bamboo tree, a bamboo stem. The person would either take you to court or report you to Korea. how do you think we can disabuse our minds to ensure that we go local instead of always thinking imports and imports?
One thing is for us, the civil engineer that has done his work, that has finished the performance evaluation and has the document, the green book, to show that yes, this thing can actually fly, can work, and there will be no failure, is for us to make our work public. That is one. That is, make the results public. Then another thing is for you to construct a prototype, and that is where we normally have the challenge, because for you to construct a prototype, there must be cash backing. Somebody must be sponsoring you, and that is where our governments can come in, but we hardly see such assistance from right sources. So is when you have the fund, you'll be able to construct a prototype. People will be able to see, and you'll be able to show people this thing can actually work. But that will not stop anybody. Somebody that if you know what you have done, and people know what you have done, I'm sure there are some people out there that have the fund, which some people have actually tapped into, and they are ready to sponsor you, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win game.
Okay, this program is targeted at young people.
Yes.
And I would like to put you on the spot, not only to encourage young people, but also to encourage girls.
Okay.
And I'm sure you would like to do that.
I will do that.
Please go ahead.
For the young ones, engineering is a very noble profession you can come into, you can study. Because one, we prefer solutions to problems. We see problems and we go all out to make sure that that problem is solved. So engineering is a very, very noble profession, particularly civil engineering. As I've shown you, is not for the girls, for the ladies. It's not every time you can be there in the field, although everybody wants to be in the field. But you can also be in your lab, conducting research, looking for solution for
we have a caller.
Okay.
Hello. Hello, good evening. Alright, you have the floor. Ask my guest any question you want to.
Okay, let me ask you. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. My name is Ushola.
Okay.
Please go ahead, Mishala.
Okay. I also ask that you are talking.
Yes, sir.
How can we design a use it? I want to explain to me.
How can you?
Use the bamboo to build it.
I can use it. Okay, you know what I will do for you, Mishala? That's going to take a whole lot of time.
Yes.
Really. But I will call a number for you. If you call that number, you'll get her number, then you can take it off from there. Is that okay, Mishala? Alright, I'm sure Mishala is listening. I will give you a number right now during the course of the program, so you can call that number, you can get his number through that, then Mishala, you can continue your conversation to ask whatever it is you want to ask. I'm sure you are curious, like I am anyway. So you were saying something about the girl child as you...
Yes, the girl child, if people say, okay, you cannot go into the field to practice, you can be in your lab looking for solution. As I am, I'm a researcher. I look for solutions to problems. I look for how to be innovative with our materials. And use of waste has been my research focus for some years now, especially agricultural waste, how we can be processed as part replacements for cement in concrete, or how you can even use it without any additives in stabilization of your soil. There is a whole lot, and one person cannot finish it. There is a whole lot. As you are doing it, innovation is still coming up. New things, you get to see new things. And one major thing that will gladden your heart is when you see your work out there and somebody is picking it up in order to make it a reality.
I want to say a big thank you to Engineer Dr. Funmilayo Alayaki for coming. And then thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, Prince Engineering Shillong FNSC, for bringing this every Friday to your viewing pleasure. Now, my Shegun from Port Harcourt, you got our question correctly. The answer is active transport. So Shegun, I know you are watching. I will give you this number to call 003-086-7011. 003-086-7011. Call that number. You'll get your gift, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineer Dishilon. And Olushola, you can call that number too. You will get the contact of our guest. Then you can ask your question from her after the show. That will be the end of it for Engineer and You this week. Next week is another time where we bring you another guest to discuss something very interesting like that of today. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Until then, my name is Tunolani. I'm saying bye-bye.